What's up, everybody? This is Chris with Smoking Pipes, and today we will be smoking Caldwell's Crafted and Curated Malpensante. So this is one I've been really excited to try since we heard about it at PCA 2026. Caldwell has been really putting out some incredible cigars in their Crafted and Curated line. And before we get into this one, I wanted to talk to Andy a little bit about not just this cigar, but what the Crafted and Curated line is from Caldwell and what really makes these cigars stand out even in Caldwell's ever-growing lineup.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Caldwell's Crafted and Curated series is basically like Robert's playground. Robert has, about every month or two, Robert's in the Dominican Republic, visiting with the Venturas and other industry friends, constantly sort of just playing with tobacco, playing with blends. It's something that he super enjoys. Even outside of like a work brand context, it's there's something about blending and tweaking cigars that I think just sort of satisfies an itch for him. So he's also like a perfectionist, and so like nothing is ever quite done.
Okay.
With Robert, right? Like there's always ways that things can be improved. There's always like new expressions of like an experience that he would like to share with the world. And so Crafted and Curated is basically an opportunity for Caldwell to sort of take some of these experiments that Robbie's doing in the factory and then share them in small limited runs with the rest of the world. Oftentimes these are like, blends that due to certain leaf grades or production methods, you just can't really produce at scale.
Yeah.
And so it's really just like a cool opportunity for those of us who enjoy Caldwell's portfolio to just get a different sort of expression of a familiar experience. So all of the Crafted and Curated cigars, you'll notice that the primary bands on all of them are familiar. So in the one that we're smoking now, the Malpensante, it is, of course, a Savage's band. So we're sort of referring to this one as Savage's Malpensante, but it's not the original Savage's blend here. Like we're using the Savage's primary as a sort of context clue for those of you who are walking into a humidor and you're looking for something new, you're looking for something special. Hopefully you'll see this band and it will remind you of a Savage's experience, right? It's sort of like
It's got that DNA.
Yeah, it's got Savage's DNA.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can say it is Savage's was one that a lot of the Caldwell fans out there, we see it in the comments. As soon as this band was posted in the PCA hype reel from Caldwell, people were like, oh, Savage's is back. Not the full lineup. That was lost as much as I can remember back when the fire happened.
Yeah.
At TWV. So the whole line is not coming back, but we're getting these quick hits of that Savage's DNA, but also in very limited quantities with also like varietals of the tobacco that's not readily available to really bring the whole lineup back. But what I really love about the Crafted and Curated is the limited nature of it.
Sure.
It's something that it keeps you interested in the hobby. I think the new releases are great when they're big lines, but we're always one for trying new things that Robbie's maybe experimenting with that won't be around for long due to, like you said, the limited nature. But it's something we can basically like experiment along with Rob.
Yeah, I think that it is, I don't know, here at Smoking Pipes too, like we love tobacco experiences,
Of
right?
course.
Like premium tobacco experiences. That's why we do what we do. Like whether it's collecting pipes or trying different pipe tobaccos or, in this case, sort of trying a new expression of a Savage's blend. It's the variety.
Yeah.
That's the spice of life, right? Like, so yeah, I think Robert's done some really cool stuff. I mean, just this year we've had, 2 Magnum versions of the Queens.
Forbidden Fruit.
Forbidden Fruit.
Yeah.
The Last Czar, El Olvidado, just dropped.
Went quick.
Went
Gone
super
in like
quick.
3 days.
Yeah, we only made 200 boxes, but still, yeah, I'm bummed I didn't sell her more of that one.
I had one at
Did you?
PCA.
Oh, man.
And it was, we had just got back from PCA when it dropped on site, and it literally, like, when I went on to buy them, gone.
Wow.
So yeah, I might have to maybe talk to Rob about that. But let's get into this one. We talked a little bit about Mal Caída. That was the first of the Savages crafted and curated
Sure.
that recently came out in the past year. This one's a little bit different. Can you touch on what makes Malpensante really kind of special?
Sure. I'll start with the name.
Okay.
So, Malpensante is there's really no like great English translation to
Okay.
this, but like it sort of means like the ill thinker, or more poetically, the cynic,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't know, like if you guys have ever spent time with Rob, he does sort of have this sort of just sort of you know
He's the most interesting man in the world. In
He's
many
pretty
different
interesting.
ways.
Yeah, he's so interesting, but he's also like deeply skeptical of a lot of things, and he can be a bit cynical at
The
times.
moon landing is not real.
The moon landing
in my
is not
eyes
real.
and in Rob's eyes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he'll die on that hill. But so it's sort of like this cheeky, clever name. A lot of folks use Spanish names when they're naming cigars, and Caldwell has historically shied away from that. But I think with Crafted, it's sort of like a fun little way of us like, paying homage to sort of like the roots of the industry while also having some fun with it, right? So
Yeah.
Mal Caída was like the bad apple.
Yeah.
El Olvidado is the forgotten one.
Yeah.
And then Malpensante is the cynic.
So what I'm seeing just from like our perspective is we're seeing this very traditional. You talked about like the Cuban style, back to the roots of the cigar industry packaging, very clean.
Yeah.
You got one or two logos on here. You talked about the Malpensante. So you're going with kind of the Spanish name, but also it kind of has a funny, Rob, cheeky translation to it. So
Yeah.
the packaging is taking itself very traditional, very serious, but then you have that Caldwell spin to it. For people who really appreciate the premium cigar industry, but also can look past like the super serious nature of it and enjoy what they're smoking with a little bit of candor to it.
Yeah, I think that's a really great way to describe it, Chris. Like I think Caldwell cigars are so good, but they're not pretentious.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's prestige without pretension, and if you want a really good stick, that's it's not going to blind you with the flash of the band. It's just beautiful.
So getting into what we're experiencing with this cigar, this is the second time I've smoked it. Last night I smoked it outside, and this is the second time I'm now smoking it in the lounge in the morning. So last night after dinner, this morning, light breakfast, I'm getting really a consistent experience with this. I told you going into this is one that is super versatile, in my opinion. The first thing I immediately got out of this was that it tasted like it had some age on it.
Yeah.
There was no harsh edges. It was very smooth. I was getting like a light floral sweetgrass type of note from it. I'm enjoying it even more this morning. And I think the Habano wrapper you mentioned is very interesting. I think that is a lot of what we're getting on this initial first couple inches of it.
Malpensante has a Habano 2000 wrapper. So that's like a hybrid seed that was developed in Cuba in the 90s, typically grown in Ecuador.
Okay.
But it's a bit milder than your more sort of full-bodied Habano
Yes.
blends are. I think that it still has a good bit of spice, but I think it's a bit more balanced in the register. Like there's spice on the retrohale,
Yes.
but not so much on the palate.
Right.
I get a lot of cream,
Yeah.
a lot of like sort of semi-sweet cocoa nibs,
Yeah.
a little bit of like leather.
Yeah, it's sitting in that space between what you would think of with your traditional Habano wrapper and the Ecuadorian Connecticut being on the lighter
Yeah.
side. It's sitting somewhere there in the middle. I'm also I getting a lot of freshness still on the palate. It's not one that's wearing out my palate. I smoked it last night, woke up this morning, my palate still felt fresh. It didn't feel like I was still tasting last night's cigar, which I experience a lot with the darker cigars. It's going to be one that you're going to be able to enjoy throughout pretty much any point in the day. And as we go into the springtime, I think that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a cigar. Toro size on the larger size here, this is going to be one you're going to get over an hour out of. And it's not going to be one you're going to fatigue your palate after you're done smoking it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think there is a decent amount of spice to it, but it's not, you know, like I was a huge Savages fan back in the day, you know, before the line was discontinued after the fire in 2022. But that cigar is it's much spicier. It's much more pepper forward.
Okay.
Whereas this one, I feel like it almost smokes like a queen.
Yeah.
Like it almost smokes like a queen.
The queen is my favorite of the Caldwell lineup.
Like if you took the queen and then added some Savages DNA,
Okay.
I feel like this was a pretty good mix of those things. Sumatran binder.
Yep.
And then some really nice Dominican fillers. It's a bit larger for a Caldwell cigar.
Yeah. And we've
know,
seen that of the recent crafted and curateds.
Yeah, you know, a lot of them have been sort of Toro Plus sizes recently, with the exception, of course, of Forbidden Fruit, which was a Magnum, but which is sort of interesting as well. You know, Rob, as a blender, as a cigar maker, tends to prefer the sort of smaller Vitolas, the more boutique Vitolas, and that's really just like his own personal preference. He tends to enjoy Coronas or Churchills or Lonsdales, like those sorts of Vitolas.
And this one is a little bit different from the Savages Mal Caída. The Mal Caída was a box press, which Rob did tell us that would affect the flavor of that blend. This one being a different wrapper from Mal Caída. So if you've picked up Mal Caída and enjoyed it, the Savages Crafted and Curated latest release from the Savages line, you're going to probably enjoy this as well, but it's not going to be the same cigar. So a little bit of a different expression. If you still have some of those left, I'd be really curious to hear in the comments when you smoke those around the same time period, how they play off each other. But this is going to be a really, I think, fast seller for us, as all the crafteds have been, mostly due to that limited nature. So there's only 400 boxes of these total that Caldwell made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 400 boxes. It's not something, you know, like with all the crafteds, it's sort of like, you know, once it's gone, it's gone. So it really is a unique opportunity to experience Savages or Savages DNA in a new expression. Like I said, I'm getting things that remind me of Queen, maybe even like a little bit of like, I don't even know. I mean, like there is. So Savages, of course, is a blend that was originally a spinoff of Long Live the King before it sort of became its own line.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot here that reminds me of the King. And Savages was always like a bit bolder than the King, and I think this one's a bit more like medium. Yeah. Like maybe medium plus, but it's not a super over the head, you know, spice bomb or anything like that. It's a very balanced Habano.
Habano is one that Rob personally enjoys. He speaks a lot about that as one that he enjoys in high humidity environments, spring, summer, those type of moments. This is perfect for the season we're going into. It's not going to be one you want to miss. Very limited nature, only 400 total for Caldwell. That means Smoking Pipe's going to get much less than that. So once they're on the site, be sure to check them out. Let us know in the comments what's been your favorite crafted and curated from the Caldwell lineup this year. And we look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.